like babysitting. They're not.
My thought was, what do we tell our sons?
Nigga, if you buying that ticket, you fucking.
I got everything I need at my house. I don't need a hall pass.
Every time I get to a corner and I see somebody doing a famous Baltimore gangster lean.
We outside.
Every time I get to a corner, I see somebody do this gangster lean.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another week of the Shop Podcast. I am Miss Toya. To the left or right of me, I don't know which side, we have.
Whoa.
And below, we have.
Yes, indeed. How y'all doing? It's Jay, a.k.a. Young Hutch, a.k.a. Frank, the DJ that is.
Did we lose Cassie?
Again.
She outside, or she doing a Baltimore.
She outside, so. Well.
Outside.
How was y'all weekend?
Drill. It was work.
Oh, you said you had drill. Is that all weekend or just one day?
Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that's all weekend.
And then after I got out of drill, the Ravens lost. So.
Damn.
I did not wake up to watch that.
You ain't miss nothing.
I was sick since New Year's Day. Not New Year's Day, but the Monday after New Year's Day, I woke up sick, and I had been sick since then until I want to say the day before yesterday. So Sunday, I was like, I don't even feel like lifting my head to watch a game.
Damn, you brought your New Year sick.
Yeah, listen, I had plans. I was like, I'm going to take my decorations down. I'm going to go check out the 70 or 50% off sales. I went to sleep with a plan. I woke up and God was like, ha ha.
See you next year.
No shopping for you.
So
that has been my New Year.
Maybe you was ripping and running. You need a rest.
I think I always say sometimes when God is trying to tell us to sit down and we'll listen, he will sit you down. And he was like, hey, take a rest.
Remember that song? God is trying to tell you something.
Yeah, he was saying he let up off me for one brief moment to go to my sister-in-law's viewing and funeral. And then the next day he was like, back down you go. I was like, when am I going to hit the streets of Baltimore? Today was like the first time I left out the house and did something.
Hallelujah, blessed. Now look at you looking all refreshed.
Thank you. I try to clean up a little bit.
We have a member backstage, y'all.
I don't see it in the WatchaCon.
Yeah, so I'll be trying to chill for real on the weekend. Things be still going on. I still got to make things happen. But I just want to give a shout out to Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis for for really, doing his business, doing his job. Besides the distractions, he did a fine job this week, and I guess we're gonna give him April. And those Philly folks, which was led by Meek Mills, even though Meek said he wasn't there to fight, he got in a dispute with a boy from DC who thinks he's better than Gervonta as well, and but
Meek got in a fight with somebody from DC.
It was an altercation, like
he was defending Gervonta.
Yeah, it wasn't no hands on.
Okay.
Russell from DC was talking trash, and he was on live too, talking trash about Gervonta. And Russell was defending. I'm sorry, Meek was defending Russell, and then Stack, which is George Floyd's brother, also got into a situation because he was basically protecting his wife, but he also was saying basically like, how y'all going, a black man is in there fighting and we tearing each other down. We trying to, have a better, basically be for professional in the building, where a sold out fight is, and this is how y'all come to the fight. But Meek pardoned himself, and he did tweet. And, things got back to business. But for all those folks that betted on FanDuel, and I was one of them, we lost a lot of money out there. FanDuel made a lot of money.
How you lose?
So basically, I'm still getting a handle on FanDuel. And you can do different type of bets. So I was following somebody else's advice, and I thought that when it said take rounds, I'm thinking it's like whoever win that round. But no, it was like basically if you pick the round, the person had to win and beat the fight in that round. So there's different ways you get a bet, but FanDuel is making a lot of money. MGM app is making a lot of money. DraftKings is making a lot of money. Now, you guys, I'm just calling you up. If you want to cut us a check at the podcast, Shop Podcast, cut that check for.
Okay, so that was the fight. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still trying to get this echo to go away.
I like that truck that Tank pulled up in, the little military style truck or whatever.
All right.
Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all can keep going.
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, that was dope. But my thing is, if the dude trying to say he better than Tank or whatever like that, I don't want to hear the lip service. You feel me? You feel me? Like, you can say you better by getting in the ring with him.
So the thing is, I feel like with Tank, or any established boxer, I think Tank has gotten to a level of now he's not with Floyd. He's under his own management. He's picking his own fights, picking his own battles, basically. So he feels like for folks that's just coming out, you don't have no rent. You know what I'm saying? You don't have nothing to offer him.
You can't just come out the gate and fight me.
Right. So you have to, come out and you have to prove yourself. And I understand that. I mean, and not to say Russell's not a bad fighter, but why would I put my championship name against somebody who has no type of, you know what I'm saying, oomph. You know what I'm saying? Even this guy who he fought on Saturday, let's be honest. This is his first pay-per-view, situation, headlining, and you got an opportunity, and I mean, hey, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but yeah, you just can't come from out of nowhere and decide that you're gonna just wanna, fight the champ.
I apologize, y'all. I don't know what's going on with the iPhone, but it keeps telling me I can't access the show.
Well, you're in here now. Tell us.
Yeah, I switched phones. I had to go outside and switch phones. I had to get my other phone because the iPhone won't let me out. It keep knocking me out, keep telling me the browser not supported and everything else.
All right, we're moving on. How was your weekend?
It was pretty interesting. My daughter had a basketball game. They won 34-4.
But it was your birthday, so I was interested. It's like an interesting band. It was your birthday weekend.
Yeah, because it was interesting because I had a pretty good birthday. Spent time. I don't know why, but I guess I'm not super excited. I wasn't super excited about my birthday. I was super excited before it happened, but now it's like it's happened and it's like, oh, it's just a birthday. But I'm grateful to be living another year. But I got got shown nice love, nice presents. So, I'm good.
I always get excited about my birthday, and I like to
I
be
was,
about it.
and that's what it's funny because I was super excited before my birthday. And so now I don't know. Maybe the excitement just wore off.
Okay.
But like I said, with this COVID back on the rise again, yes, I am grateful to see another year.
All right, maybe that'll help. All right, hopefully I got it straight. I'm back. Hey, hey Kathy, happy birthday. I hear you're over the excitement of it.
Thank you.
But is Pastor there?
He's always on another mission.
All right, well, all right, so I think we got everybody weekends out the way and the birthdays. Pastor,
Yes, ma'am.
take it away with what's going on in the city.
What's
In
going
the city.
on in the city? I think Mayor Scott had something going on with the a program he had for the Squeegee Boys or whatever.
Started yesterday.
Um, just kind of paraphrase. I'm not sure all the details of the thing, but he's trying to get them, I guess, jobs and working. I think it's his way of, lessening the chaos on the streets that happened with them. Mayor Scott also did some because I hear people drag Mayor Scott all the time, and I really don't think changing the mayor is gonna fix all the problems in the city, and I really don't think you can blame all of the city's problems on the mayor. But so while people are saying what he's not doing, I will say that he's renovated a lot of schools. My elementary school being one of them, the Govans Elementary School.
That's what I was gonna say.
Students
Like,
over Gold. Up.
What'd you say, Hatch?
So shout out to all my young students over Govers that I pick up.
Pushing T.
Yes, indeed.
my thought was because every time it's a shooting, people like, where's the mayor? What is the mayor doing? What do they want him to do? Stand in front of bullets?
So this is the thing. It's we was talking about it in roll call at my job. The community kind of be flip flop. They'll be like, when the police come, they'll be like, leave them young boys alone. Da, 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 da. And then at the same time, when they start trapping and hustling, they be like, what y'all doing about them young? So that's the contradictory. That's a contradiction. And then like with the now I understand. If you see somebody do something, you see somebody rob breaking a house, you see somebody shoot somebody or whatever. Nobody wants to say what they saw because they don't want to be a victim,
Right.
crime. But at the same time, if you don't say anything, then how is something gonna happen?
Right. See, like, I don't think that people get that goes hand in hand. Like, and I completely understand it. I'm always praying, like, I don't want to see something because I don't necessarily trust keeping me protected. So I don't want to have to testify against something. But also, like, people be knowing who doing this stuff and nobody say anything. Like, I think I told y'all before, I have a cousin whose son was killed. Everybody can tell you who did it. The police has an idea who did it, but because no one will come up and say anything, the police can't go on with without evidence or without a witness. And then again, when it comes to like these shootings, they I don't know exactly what, if you're a shooter, I don't know what the mayor is going to do besides, and I don't think it's him that can create it. I think the only thing that can stop it is tougher laws. And when Baltimore had its lowest crime rate, I guess during like my teen to adult time, everybody complained about how they got there.
Right. And so this is the other thing they're gonna say about a lot of our problems is due to Marilyn Mosby not being tough enough on crime and da 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 da. But this guy Bates is coming in or whatever, probably a great guy. Military background. I I feel like I voted for him. Yeah, I feel like I voted. Anywho, he gonna come in there. He gonna lock everybody up because he's gonna do whatever the opposite of what Mosby did. Which, you know, if you do the crime, you pay the time. You should get locked up. But lock everybody up is not necessarily the solution or whatever, because you know what happens there when you start locking everybody up and you get all aggressive on crime dog on crime. People get locked up. That's not guilty. You know, the accusation. You ever been accused of something you ain't do? Some people that get accused of stuff they don't do, they take the ride for it, and
And like that stays with you.
yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. The
But
whole everybody
and
up.
how we had a lower crime rate is that O'Malley had them locking everybody up. So now maybe a lot of them need it, but also like we don't want to just overcrowd the system with just locking people up by, if you're on the streets by a certain time, everybody got to go in, like that type of policy. But also, you don't want to have people going through for stuff that they don't need to. I'm not
So
to the broken windows policy.
What
I
you got?
feel like I've always said, and I say this to people: one hand washes the other. You can't lock everybody up. There'll be no jobs. Ivan Bates is gonna come through and do a whole sweep of people, and he's hired a whole bunch of prosecutors, and he's trying to make himself look good. He's gonna make himself look good for the first probably 90 days, maybe 100 days, and they're gonna start hating him again. I'm not a fan of any politician. Marilyn Mosley did a job that she was doing, and I feel like for her not to um, charge people for petty drugs, prostitution, or any of those low crime offenses, I feel like it's a smart thing. I don't feel like she said, "Oh, you're shooting, I'm not going to lock you up." And I also feel like prostitution does not lead to shooting. Me buying, I mean, I don't smoke weed, people, but me buying a dime bag or whatever they call it, nickel bag, does not lead to me shooting somebody, me killing somebody. So at the end of the day, everybody has to play a scapegoat. Brandon Scott and everybody before him, and he's been probably under everybody's administration, is going to play the scapegoat. Yes, what he's doing with the squeegee kids or squeegee people, I mean, I say kids, is the most dumbest thing ever. You take people off the street to make them sit at the house to collect money. So basically, it's like you playing Monopoly. You go around the board, you collect $200. But if I take myself, if I remove myself from President Street, and now I'm on Martin Luther King, I'm making more money because I'm supposed to be at home. So I'm making money from home, and then I'm back on Martin Luther King or whatever major block with my squeegee. And whatever. If he feels like it's a good plan, it's taking money from the city to do that. If he feels like it's good, okay, so what? You know what I'm saying? As far as the shootings go, again, where's Mayor Scott? Like you said, what is he gonna do? There's nothing that can be done in any major city, any major urban city that you know it's not something that can be done overnight. Nobody's gonna come through and sweep up any urban city. Yeah, you can do half and half, as we can see. Like I've always stated, Baltimore, Tale of Two Cities. Got that from my man Ralph E. Johnson. Baltimore is a tale of two cities. If you go on one side of the city, it's a different environment. People are walking and walking their dogs and running around the harbor and Locust Point and all these good things, Ford Avenue and all these good places, and they're out there with their bagels and they're at the tea shops and all these good things. And then when you come across, you have good folks like, and nothing, not to down her, but good folks like Tiny and, all the other folks, Bunky strutting and all this other stuff that goes all across the other of Baltimore. So no, we can't control it. But what I feel like the mayor should do, and what our Commissioner Harris should do, is have these police get their lazy asses out the police cars and walk the streets, and not just walk down the block and back, but circle the block. Then maybe you'll have another patrol car following them. Make the drug dealer work for their money. Make the fiend go work to go find that drug. Drugs will never be stopped. So if you're gonna, we're gonna have these things. So make these people work. They're gonna find it. Trust and believe they're gonna find it. And the drug dealers and all these boys, hustle boys, and all these type of people, they will find a way to sell the drug. So stop saying we're gonna blame Mayor Scott. Where's Mayor Scott? What is he gonna do? No. Have those police officers out there doing their job, posted up as they're supposed to be. I mean, that's the only way that I can see it happening without them talking about martial law and all these other things and calling the cavalry in. Just have the police doing their job. Simple as that.
You want to read the comment? Your husband's comment?
You can.
Long as shit.
Marlon said, I have to agree with Hutch. You are literally giving them money to do what they are supposed to do anyway, not commit crime. If you don't want to work, start a business. If you don't want a business, build things that benefit society and charge a fee. Working without running a business is cool too. This is my favorite part. It's rare for me to see an actual officer walking the beat like they used to do back in the day. They don't do that no more. That's the problem.
They don't do that. Now, I rode down North Avenue last night, and everybody knows I'm outside at all different times of the day, and I can see from from a morning time aspect to a late night to an early morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I can see the differences of when the police change on Penn North. You might have a police, MTA police on the left side that's by the subway, and then come about 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night, you'll have one on the right side. And then once you start going up North Avenue, going west, you might see police that's on every corner. But again, if I'm sitting in my police car, what is the dope boy going to do? Come down the block. They're going to congregate down the block. They're going to serve down the block. So by you sitting in your police cruiser on the phone as somebody's getting shot around the corner, what is that doing? It's not doing a damn thing. But no, I'm not going to Mayor Brandon Scott, because he was under every sorry ass administration for the last umpteen years. Every single one of them.
Well, I mean, Hutch, you gotta, think about that. I think that when they were saying get rid of all of the old administration and just start fresh, that was probably the best idea that they could have had. Because you're right, it's like everything that was going on, it just continues to, keep going on. Nothing is going to change, unless you have people with better ideas and better better thoughts about things to make a change. And the as you say, we don't have that foot patrol, police patrol like we should have. The money that is being paid. If they can get away with not doing nothing, then they get away with doing it. I mean, I don't even hardly see like the police just patrolling the neighborhoods. Like, I don't know if this shortage is what's causing it, or what's going on, but um it's just not good.
But you know
And
what's
you
crazy?
definitely can tell the difference.
We can't keep on blaming a shortage. When things you come together and you come with a plan. So if I have 10 officers, 9 of them shouldn't be sitting in their police car, or 8 of them shouldn't be sitting in the police car, and the other 2 are sitting on top of the car talking to each other. It's like they out here on the job with being homeboy and homegirl. They ain't watching what's going on. I shouldn't walk past I ain't gonna say walk because I'm not messing with these blocks. I shouldn't drive past the block and it's a congregation of young black men either playing dice or serving or just hanging out in front of stores. You in front of a whole business. No. And then they want to have a law that's stating that the business owners are going to be getting charged, or I guess this has been a law already. The business owners are going to be getting charged for children going into, well, we're going to just say now Popeyes. They're going to charge them because the children came into the store. Anybody knows a child, not even say a child, if you 26 and under, shit, maybe 30 and under, I ain't messing with it. Them the ones that's going to blow your brain straight out as soon as you say something. And if they are not the owner of Popeyes or they're not the owner of any of them stores where these young men or young ladies are hanging out and causing riffraff in front of their stores. So instead, why isn't the Baltimore City Police at least taking a walk down there? Everybody know now, these days, yeah, they fighting the police. They're going to fight the police back. But if the police is respectful, hey, it's about building community as well. It's about building in your community. Hey, good fellas, if y'all don't mind, can y'all clear out this store? Can y'all clear off this block? It's about respect. But because these officers, a lot of them, they're going to come out there, you know, with all that, yo this, yo that, yo get the fuck off the block, blah, 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 blah. So what kind of reaction that's going to get the young men and young ladies that's out there? They're going to react back to it.
Right.
It's about building that community.
Marlon basically said the same thing. He was like, he remembers when he knew the officers' names that was in the neighborhood. And I think that it goes to what you were just saying. Like, they don't need to just patrol the neighborhood, but they also need to like really work in the neighborhood, get to know these people, and be a part of the community. And I think the community then in turn responds better.
Correct. Because as you stated, you said you had a family member whose child got killed. And nobody's going to tell. But in the jail, a lot of inmates, what they call is dropping that kite. So you never know when Officer Friendly walks around. And because Officer Friendly is such a good officer and he is so in tune with the neighborhood, you don't know what Joe Schmo might, hey, if you look under that rock over there, you might find a bag of dope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you look on that trash can over there, you remember that shooting the other night, that gun over there. You don't know how things can turn out. But they just in their cars, on their cell phone, turning a blind eye and just getting paid.
Listen, I have hung out with police officers while they're supposed to be working.
See? You know, so it's just crazy, man.
And that's part of the issue is that, you know, when you certain jobs, when you take those jobs, you take them for all seriousness and to do your job. But if you just take it as though that it's a paycheck, then, you know, that's exactly what it turned into. And half it to me, a lot of these new officers, they're scared.
I'm
They
glad
not
that you,
even
They
they,
don't come from
they
the community.
yeah,
You
they
know what I'm saying?
scared. They have no rapport, no relationship, and they walking scared straight.
I was gonna
You
say
can't.
something like that
You
too.
can't.
Like I feel like they not doing their job. They like first off, shout out to the police officers that are doing their job. Everybody not out there not doing their job. I know some good police officers.
Shout out to
Shout
them.
out to them. But for the ones that's just doing enough to just get by or whatever like that. Like for instance, you hear about a shooting, right? It was a shooting up there by Emerson High School or whatever. What happens after that is they'll post a squad car, black and white, you know, by the scene of what happened or whatever like that. And that's what usually what happens when something happens in the area. They'll post a car there or whatever. I guess to show that to give the perception that they doing something. That's what I get from it.
How long is that car gonna be there? Now, it's always a car somewhere in the village. Now, I rode through the village every single day. I ride through the village every single day. You may see a car there, you may not see a car there. You may see a car or closer to where the church is, but then you have the dope boys at the shell. But the crazy part about it is when something happens in the hood, you post a car there. The car's posted there maybe a couple days, couple nights. Then they'll, back off a little bit. But it's crazy when the little boy, the squeegee boy, killed the guy. It's a police car on that corner still to this day, 24/7. That's crazy to me.
You talking about down there on Conway and by the where the Orioles play at?
Down further, but yeah, right by the harbor.
Yep.
Light in Conway.
Light in
It's
Conway. Facts. Light in Conway. Facts.
Yeah, and it's there 24/7.
Yep.
Like I said, it's two sides of this situation. It's two sides of Baltimore. If you on that side, it's all good. If you coming and you driving and you get down, what? If let's say if you going on Guilford or what is it, Calvert? Let's say Calvert. Okay, let's take Calvert. You get to Calvert. Once you get to North Avenue, things start to change.
Facts.
Things start to change. Once you get past Charles Village, that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that you have the resources in the neighborhoods that you want to have the resources in. They put so much into this whole squeegee situation. They don't care about like my neighbors told me, hey, y'all parking them cars on the sidewalk, they're gonna start giving y'all tickets. I said, you about to you rather somebody get their car hit than you coming out here giving out tickets? Come on now. It's much bigger things to worry about in the city. Just like, okay, like say somebody got some trash in their yard. Now, if you got grossly trash in your yard and it's piled up and rats is running around, yeah, get them folks a ticket. But come on, use these resources for things that we need in the town. You know what I'm saying? How can a guy that's working, that's the head of was it DPW, he making $200,000?
And the city look a wreck.
And because they told him we need to start implementing recycling every week, he quit his job. Come on now. Y'all worried about recycling more than y'all worry about all these kids getting killed. What week are we in? Week 2?
Mm-hmm. What's the count? 2? We in week 2. What's the count? I don't even look at it.
A 17-year-old young lady killed in the first night, and a 16-year-old killed, like a body in a canister or a shipping crate found on a house. I mean, come on now. But y'all worried about squeeze.
All I can say is that, residing in another state and coming into another state, there's definitely different. And so for me, I know that it can be done because it's nowhere in the world that other states can look the way that they look and have the crime rate that they have, but yet, this is what it is. It's something that can be done. It's feasible, but work has to be put in, and the folks that probably need to do the work aren't willing to do it.
I just feel like one hand washes the other. If you clean the town up, that takes away from the trash man. That takes away from, and they even now are getting subcontracted trash they call it waste management folks, and you know, this guy, he's hiring over 200 prosecutors, and once they start to clean up those back files, and start to see the mistakes, or blame things on Marilyn Mosby. I don't know how long that's going to take for them to start unraveling that. Even your boy, boss, they trying to mess with that case again. So it's a lot of things.
I don't want to let up off my man.
Right. It's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be changing in the next probably 30 to 90 days of this new year, that you just can't. And my whole thing is, they have fired so many police commissioners. I just don't understand why this guy is still here, and I don't see what really he has done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, what does the police commissioner have done?
Hey,
go ahead.
Hang on, before you finish that, you're making a good point, but you gotta research the pay situation or whatever.
That pay situation is outrageous.
It's gonna cost them more to fire him. I'll explain it better when I got better information.
Right,
but it costs the city too much to fire him. Put it that way.
Honestly, he has a contract, and I mean, I guess they don't want to have him get free money. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just feel like any town, any city, I feel like we should have an open forum from the public, and not something that is, not really advertised. I think every community, every neighborhood of every major city should be able to go to a rec center, and they discuss with their alderman or their city council or whatever the case may be, and talk about what's happening. Whether it gets changed or not, at least we get to talk about it.
Okay.
Have you checked to see if there's one in your area?
Yeah, and I've also talked to Mr.
Because I worked for City Hall, so I remember when I worked there, they did have them. And there are some districts that do show up and some that don't.
Well, I've emailed and texted and talked to Mr. Antonio Glover a lot of times, and not to talk about Antonio Glover, but I've seen the only thing I've seen, I ain't gonna talk about the man like that. The only thing I've seen is him gaining a lot of weight. That's the only thing I've seen. So Zone 13, Antonio Glover, Zone 12, these are in your hands. I don't know how much they get paid to be the councilman, but I mean, I just feel like, if I take on a job and I feel like I want to move to the next level of the job, and I want the people to have my back, at least I'm gonna make my zone a neighborhood that could be mirrored. Rather whatever everybody else is doing in the city, I would at least make my zone look good, and so people can come and say, damn, look at their zone. Look what they're doing over there. How can we get that in our zone?
I agree with you. I do. I'm trying to think if it's considered a part-time job, because what I'll say, I will talk bad about the person I worked for. I don't think she's a councilwoman anymore. I worked for Helen Holton. I know she covered, I'm gonna say Cooks Lane, like that area.
Okay.
And those people, like, they were calling, they filed complaints, they were trying to be in contact. I was her administrative assistant. I took down that information, put it in the book I was only there for a short time because I did not like working for her office. I genuinely loved the people that I met and saw working hard in City Hall. I did not like working for her office. Her and her, I guess, direct assistant were evil, and I did not want to miscarry during my pregnancy, so I left there. But I remember I would take these complaints that people had, put them in a binder, and for the 2 months that I was there, I never saw either one of them look into that binder. That is not to say that's how other people were in those positions. I, for one, I couldn't vote for Brandon because I don't live in the city, but I've seen the work that he's done all these years. Like, I had a conversation with my cousin because she was like, he's too inexperienced. I said he probably has the most experience. I was like, he's not new to this. It's not like he just woke up one day and said, I want to be mayor, but he has been working hard in this city for years. So I won't take that away from him. And I also won't say that he don't have experience, but we voted for not probably not the people here, but we voted in a president and a governor who had never had political experience at all. So I won't hold that against him. I do think that it's not a job I would want.
I don't know.
To be honest, I honestly feel like taking it on is, and to be, it wasn't honestly. If you look at the crime rate, it went up when the Freddie Gray stuff happened. We were in the 200s prior to that. And that was for everybody that hates Stephanie Rawlings Blake. That was also under her, who did not apply for that, did not run for that position, but had to take it on because of somebody else. But between O'Malley to Stephanie up until the Freddie Gray, we had crime in the 200s. So it's not to say that it wasn't that we were still just putting everybody in jail. Because once he left, I think some of those weights got lifted. But I think that we do have to be hold our city council accountable as well, not just putting everything on. Like, you called yours out, call him out. I know him. It's actually my cousin's brother. I have no problem calling people out if you need to be doing your job.
So, boss, what do you think about this? Do you think that sometimes people, and because I've seen this, do you think that sometimes people take on jobs that are too big for them, or ones that they really like? They have the passion to do the job, but it's the responsibility and other things that come with the job, they can't accomplish it.
I think that in this case, if we're speaking about Brandon Scott, I think that he does have the passion for it. I think that the public has the belief that one person or two people, him and the commissioner, are supposed to turn this around by themselves. That's not reality.
Well, I don't think that they can do it. And I'm sorry, Hutch. I don't think that it's necessarily two people, but I do think that could be other people that need to support them in their mission, that took on jobs that they really they can't do or they won't do.
It probably needs to be more so people need to stop working towards their own agenda and actually come together. So our mayor, our police commissioner, our state's attorney, get with our congressman, like all of those, like everybody needs to, because it's not just a one fixed thing. Like, everybody has a part that they need to play, but if everybody's playing for a different agenda, we're not getting to one goal.
And I feel like, the game of politics, like you say, I'm not saying Brandon's inexperienced because he served under every single person that, from Sheila all the way to the drunk.
The what?
The drunk.
Who said?
Bernard.
Oh, I forgot all of it. I erased him from my mind. Something serious.
So he served under all of those. Sheila, Stephanie, what's her name, went to jail, Bernard. And it's crazy because all of those folks got into office besides Sheila because of what somebody else did. Bernard did not want that job. Bernard was happy being the city council president. He did not want that job, and it's obvious. But
he said he did, but that's why I didn't understand why he ran again.
I think it was just something to do. But, everybody has an agenda, like you said. And I feel to get to the next level, it's either to get to the House, is either to get to the not the White House, but basically, yeah, the Capitol, and then to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So everybody has an agenda when you're in politics. It's to get somewhere high. They all liars, they all thieves, they just do it in different ways. And as you stated, everybody needs to work together and stop working against each other. Stop putting their dirty laundry out for the public to see. There's no reason why Larry Hogan and Brandon Scott should have been. Oh no, that's not it. Oh no, that's not it. Oh no, they no. Okay, if you gave the city some money, you the governor. Make them show where that money went. If the schools are supposed to get HVAC system, show where that money went. And if they can't show, when do they start to say that? Okay, it's some punishments need to happen. Where in the bylaws of politics do we say some punishments need to happen? Oh, you ain't get that school no HVAC system? Oh, them kids is out. So now we're gonna have them out with their laptops, and you're gonna be missing pay. When do we start to get them on the fire for real? And until that happens, everybody's gonna keep on playing the game. Everybody's gonna keep on paying. Oh yeah, the governor should have gave this. Oh yeah, the lottery money. Oh yeah, we got the gambling. The gambler, they're supposed to go to the schools. Come on, man. When do we start to say this person has to? You got to apply this pressure to these folks.
Marlon said career advancement is a crazy game. That's why folks go into politics. As long as we have a two-party system, those arguments between Democrats and Republicans will continue. So, we done with that, y'all? We done depressing everybody?
Yeah, we done.
All right, so you know what? I wanted to play this, and this is a chance for Six to he ain't here. He can't call me out for being contradicting myself by playing music. But one of y'all sent this, and I loved it.
Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack the dawn, now I'm yawning, wipe the cold from my eye. See who's this paging me? Why it's my man call from the barbershop. At the gambling spot, heard the intricate plot. People wanna stick you like fly paper, hey. Slow down, love, please drop the paper. Remember them people from the hill up in Brownsville that you rolled dice with, smoke fire and got nice with. Call my man Fame up in Prospect. Nah, that's my homie, nah, love wouldn't disrespect. I didn't save him. Schooling to some people that you
Right.
from back with.
I ain't gonna get myself in too much trouble. I thought that was nice.
That was very nice.
I don't know which one of y'all put it in the group, but
Yes,
it did exactly what it said. It put a smile on my face, even though I'm a super fan.
When I heard it, I felt like, wow. One, he took a classic song and really made it into what can be an R&B hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a lot of rap songs you can do that with. And because I am a Biggie fan, I just feel like there's not a lot of rappers, especially nowadays, you cannot do something like that with. And that guy was very creative. There was no cursing, there was no nigga. It was very like it was like a Southern Anthony Hamilton type song. Like, wow, that guy can really probably, like, if your guy Puff allows him to, that can be some type of hit again.
I also loved it because my aunt used to always say that I would turn any rap song into an R&B song, and so it reminded me of that. But that was dope. That was Eric Roberson. So you can probably find that on his page. But anyway, so So I also, let me see if I can find the original post that I saw. This should not get me in trouble for sharing, but let's see.
Men are not men in a relationship no more. They think they're women. And the women think they men in a relationship. Let me tell you what I mean. I'm walking to give me some gas, and I see a woman pumping her gas, but she got a man in the car. Now, where I'm from, the way I was raised, women don't pump gas if there's a man around. Or if you consider yourself to be that man or that woman's man, you know, you pump her gas. So I go over to her, I said, ma'am, do you need help pumping your gas? She said, believe it or not, my boyfriend is in the car. I said, I see him. So he see me talking to her, that nigga hop out the car. He's like, yeah, she good, my nigga. I said, no, she ain't good. Because I'm going to pump her gas. She's like, oh, wait a minute. So I'm like, no, I ain't trying to start nothing. But I'm trying to get him to understand you concerned about her. You ain't concerned about pumping her gas, though. But when you see another man pursuing her, now you want to be that man. It's too late. Yeah, I might as well get a number and hug her and kiss her in front of you. Story. You got to call my nigga. Don't disrespect me, bro. Don't do. I said, you see all that energy you putting in now to me? That's what you need to be doing to her. Because she already gone mentally. I promise you, she already gone. She just ain't figured out her escape route yet. But women, that's y'all fault. Let me tell you why. Because you don't demand for a man to be a man in the beginning of a relationship. You don't want to be by yourself. But if you pumping your own gas, if you paying for your own ticket, you're paying for your own date, man don't know to put you on the inside of him when you're walking down the street. You know, he can't change the tire. You got to call your uncle and shit, you know what I'm saying? When something go wrong in the house or your car, guess what, baby?
So I posted on my page, because everybody say they pump gas for their woman. Nobody gonna come out and say that they don't do it. But I posted on my page, do you pump gas when you're in the car with a female that's not your woman? Now, I got hit with a couple, the only female in my car is my wife. And I want to be like, nigga, I was in your car. Shut up. Like, I mean, I'm talking about cousins and stuff like that. Like, there are times when there are other women in your car, which is the point of my question.
Just
Like,
meaning you're not insinuating that it would have had somebody in the car that's a side piece or something like that.
exactly. I'm not saying do you pump gas for the people you sleep with. I'm just saying if it is someone who identifies as the opposite sex of you, are you pumping their gas? I got across the board. Everyone said yes. However, we see these women pumping gas and there's a man in the car. So everybody ain't doing it.
There's a lot of men who sit in cars. I seen a foreign lady the other day. I don't know if she was Spanish or Middle Eastern, but that man was sitting on that side, the passenger side, and while that woman was pumping gas, whole dress on and everything. It happens every day. But am I gonna walk up to a woman like that man claims that he did, or I'm not? And I'm sure he
No,
would either, because
no.
at the end of the day, first of all, that's a violation. And when I say violation, that's a violation for that man to get out that car, and now you don't know what's in that car. You know,
Right.
so hey, whatever type of relationship they got going on, that's on them. But I feel like if it's your side piece, your girlfriend, your wife, your cousin, your mother, your whoever, just step out. Unless you sick or you are injured, then you don't. You of course you can't step out then. But you know, if you are able to step out the car, hey,
To, to,
just
to
go ahead.
piggyback
Hey,
to piggyback on what Hut said, Frank said, Jay said, basically, you want to go on social media and be like, hey guys, don't be sitting in the car while a lady is outside the car pumping gas. Go for it. But the delivery that he had talking about, he went up to the lady and said, why the dude was in the car? You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that he said. Nah, champ, not like that, Doug.
I just played that because there was a video I saw. I didn't really want that to be the topic so much their video. But just like okay, so I'm gonna give an example, and it'd be my luck that just the one time the person watching the show. But I remember, and I will say, we probably none of us were probably 20 yet, so maybe it was an age thing. But the women I know who have small sons teach their small sons to pump gas. So I still don't make too many excuses for somebody 18 or over. But I was in the car with another female and a male. Starting to sound like a Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion story, but nobody got shot. We had to, I don't think the car belonged to any of the three people in the car, but we needed to get gas. And I think the other female was paying for the gas. So she went and paid, and the guy did not get out to pump the gas. And I don't want to be wrong, but I think he said something towards the ends of, "That's not my girlfriend." And that's why he didn't pump the gas. So that's why I raised the question of, do you pump gas regardless to if it's your girlfriend, wife, mother, daughter, side piece, but because this is a female, do you get out and pump gas for her?
Regardless.
You should.
Unless they trying to hide you and it's some type of secret type of situation, get out and pump the gas.
It's a matter of, teaching, like, not to go back to the video, as you said, boss, because the video isn't your question. But I have to say, I agree with the gentleman. It's how you start things, even if with the man you're in the relationship with, how you start training your son how to be a gentleman. Even if you not, even if it's not your child, but you notice that a male, that's in your in your domain, if he doesn't have that grooming, how you start teaching them, and you teach them to do things that are, respectable, things that they should be doing. And basically, if you see that they're not getting it from someone, it's not, I don't see a problem with you showing them or, teaching them how to do it. I'm still the old school person to think that, it does take the village.
So, first off, chivalry is not dead, or whatever. Let's start there. Chivalry is not dead. I still believe in, and I'm sure a lot of guys, I know Hutch agree with me, and apparently the ladies on this podcast agree as well. I still believe in holding doors. Still believe in pulling out chairs. Still believe in on the lawn, taking out the trash. You know what I'm saying? Pumping the gas. I still believe in all those things. So chivalry is not dead. You should teach your sons to do that. Guys should do that as well. I think the titles have got changed over time, or things that got changed over time. Like now it's become, it used to be yes ma'am and yes sir. Now it's become disrespectful to say yes ma'am and yes sir, because not disrespectful. It's like, don't say yes ma'am, yes sir to me, because it makes me feel old. I don't like when I hear that.
I'm 40 Eve. Go ahead and say
it. Facts. Yes sir. Call me sir. That's fine. But that just means you got some respect. But I feel like it'd be the same thing with that. I use that for an example. You know what I'm saying? You might get a woman that takes it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? If you hold the door, or if you ask, can you help her lift something, or if you try to put gas, or you get what I'm trying to say, or whatever like that. They may take it as you trying to highlight them. Even if you just say good morning, good afternoon, or give them the greeting of the day, they take it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Don't mistake me being a gentleman for me trying to get your phone number. That's all I'm saying.
And I think that a lot of time, that, like you say, it goes back to where people are in terms of, what do they know about, respectable behavior, bringing how you were trained, how you were taught as a child. I know for me, if a guy walk up to me and say good morning, or he hold the door for me, that's not my first thought. That's not my first, presumption about him. I try to raise my niece and my daughter to understand that everybody that speak to you is not necessarily trying to talk to you, trying to be more than friendly, but in the same way, the way you present yourself in certain situations determine, where you kind of take things. And I think respect and chivalry start from a very young age. And if you don't start it then, at some point it gets lost. And that's why you got men sitting in the car not doing, You know, they can watch a cousin, a girlfriend, a aunt, grandmother, or anybody that female and not feel no way bad about, pumping gas or holding the door or walking on the right side of the street, any of that.
That was another picture I saw today. It was I guess a couple walking, and the girl was. It wasn't a heavy bag or anything, but I did think it was funny. The girl was carrying like a small black plastic store bag, and she was on the side closest to the curb. And somebody was like, "What's wrong with this picture?" And somebody commented and was like, "Not only do I gotta carry the bag, but I also gotta get hit by the car first."
Some people don't. Some people don't know, and some people, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I feel like it's a lot of. I'm not gonna say young ladies, but there's a lot of ladies, females out here who just don't care about certain things, or they show this tough exterior about certain things, you know. And like you all saying, what you I guess expect in a relationship. It's nothing wrong with asking for those things as well. Like if I ask you for something, me personally, if I ask somebody for something, that means either I really want it or I really need it. I'm not gonna ask anybody for nothing. But I feel like if you're in a relationship and you say to somebody, "Hey," as the woman, you say, "Hey, why you ain't out there pumping that gas?" Maybe the person, it's a lot of men and young men coming up that do not know these things because they didn't see it. But you have some young men, some little boys who they jump out their mother's cars
Mm-hmm.
to go pump the gas. But then later on down the road, they stop these things. But it's nothing wrong in a relationship with saying, "Hey, I want this," or "Hey, I need this," or "Hey, I expect this." You're not being disrespectful. So maybe the person doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the person doesn't know that the woman should be on the inner of the curb and they just walking. Maybe they just been walking their whole life and they just been, hey, I just started walking. And they never learned that that's something that should be done. You know, and sometimes you get in certain situations with certain people when you try to go run to open the door of an establishment, and sometimes you got women who looking at you like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing?" Because they don't know that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we have this culture of, and I don't even know how it's said, simp, sip, sap, whatever the hell it's called. We have this culture of this now that because a man, as Pastor said, "Hey, good morning. Now I'm thirsty. Can I get you a cup of whatever you drink? I'm thirsty. Here go. I got everybody in the group lunch, and this is just something I'm used to doing, and you might be new to the job, you included too. Oh, girl, he came and he bought me lunch. He want me. We got this culture that is so crazy and weird now that any move you make, it's like a bad move. It can be great, but it's a bad move. And then you got the other side where nobody says, "This is what I want," whether it be your situationship, your relationship, your marriage. This is what I want, and this is what I need you to do. They don't want to talk about that type of stuff.
Well, you know what, Hutch? It's
I get
funny that you say that. I'm sorry, Pastor. It's funny that you say that because I know for me personally, when I've been in situations where I wanted that level of respect, I did command it and I let it be known. Like, if I can just give you an example. If I'm in a store and I'm with the person, I'm with a significant other or something, and I pay and maybe I'm paying for it, I'm buying something for myself. I don't when the person go to hand me the bag, I don't take it. And I'm not going to take it. And I expect that man to reach out and grab that bag. And if he don't, oh, it's gonna be a whole problem about it.
Pastor
I'm glad
Gordon,
that.
with that.
I was gonna say I'm glad that she commented that way, because if it called for her to be to let them know this is what it is, cool. I'm looking at this lady named Shayna Shropshire's comment. He said, "My dad showed me that chivalry isn't dead, but also showed me how to do a lot of things myself, and it blurred the lines for me because I'll be real quick to fix the sink or try to carry the groceries in the house." I'm glad you did that, Toya. I'm glad you did that. Let's get into that or whatever.
I 100% agree with Shayna. That is
That,
how I was raised, though. I
mm,
always say, but I feel you. I always say, to some degree, my parents did me a disservice.
Oh, wait. Go ahead.
Because one, my father, like my mother, I had 3 older sisters. So when my sisters were younger, both of my parents worked. But when it was just me, only my father worked. So my father took care of everything. My father wasn't a fixer, but he made sure it got done. But at the same time, my father didn't have a son, and I was his baby. So I guess I was the son he thought he was going to have. And he taught me. My father is the one who taught me my independence. And I think sometimes I've had to learn recently in my marriage. And one of my friends, Nicole Powell, on her podcast, Natural Naked, said the same thing. She had to learn to kind of sit back and let her husband be the man of the house, let him lead and do things. And I have to learn to do that. And sometimes it's like, because I'm ready to just be like, this needs to be done now.
I was getting ready to call on. Hey Toya, I was getting ready to call on some men in the house or whatever like that. I just need to hear some men or whatever that. I need the women to know that that lesson of independence is for when you're independent. For when you're by yourself.
That's what I'm learning. It served me when I was single and I had to do things on my own. So I remember years ago, like when I was with my ex and we broke up, I was like, this nigga moved out and didn't tell me where to take the trash to when it's time to take the trash out, because I didn't do those things. So I had to revert back to being the independent person that my father taught me to be. But in my marriage, I'm learning to step back. We had an issue in the house. I called my husband up today. I was like, today is the final day I can deal with it. And he said, all right, we're going to get it done. I said, hey, does we going to get it done mean you going to get it done? Or I should? He said, I have it handled. And I said, I'm going to take my hand off of it. But I do think, sometimes I'm growing out of, trying to, if he let me quit my job, I can probably embrace it a little bit better. But I'm trying to step back and allow him to lead. And that also gives me a reprieve from not thinking I have to do it all the time. I came home from the store. I said, baby, the bags are in the car. Can you go get them? Because I'm still recovering. But what happens, like you said, God told me that was trying to sit me down. And that's why it took so long for me to heal, because we want to keep going and going. And that's what I was doing. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let you do your job.
Shayna, thank you again for this comment. Thank you, Toya, for adding to that or whatever like that. So since both of y'all have the same testimony about how your dads taught y'all this lesson, this is my next question. This you don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't let it go past you. Don't let it go past you. Since you've done this with your husbands in the house, maybe you fix the sink. Maybe you've carried the groceries in.
That's Shayna's
maybe you cut the grass. Whatever you've done that you feel like you should have let your husband do. Did you do this in the house with your dad? Oh, I can't get no help. I'm just waiting.
No, I do.
You said
you might want to ask my sisters that question, because, like I said, I was the baby. I ain't do much. I just got so many speeches about so no, I didn't do those things. But I will say my father and my aunt, because I spent a lot of time with her, and we would end up with flat tires. But my father made sure I knew how to change a tire. Comes in handy, because while I appreciate the men that pull over to help, I also have a very, what I call, realistic fear of being kidnapped and killed, so I'd rather do it myself if I don't have a man around that I know. But no, I did not fix sinks or toilets or any of those things. I just, I was taught I need to know how to do certain things when I'm on my own.
Shayna said no as well.
What I missed was the on my own.
So, Pastor, can I chime in and say that my father, I'm on the same page with Shane and Toya, but I actually did things. My father showed me, he stressed it because he told me that I should always be prepared to take care of myself if I have to take care of myself. So I did those things. I was in the kitchen when he was fixing the scene, and he was like, "Well, come on, get under here. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do that." And so I learned both by watching and also doing. And I don't know. I don't feel like my lines were blurred at any way. Um, and I feel like I understood what my role was, and I understand what my role was when I'm single, and I understand what my role is when I'm married, and I understand what my role is when I'm in just a situational ship or a relationship. So I think that I can blend in as far as sitting, stepping back, getting in, stepping back, and being versatile.
It seems to me that it's easy. It's easy for men in relationships to allow that woman be the woman, but it's a challenge in the women letting the man be the man.
I don't want to. I don't want to say that's 100% so. Wait a minute. What did Shayna say? You gonna read that?
Exactly. And my dad has no sons, and I'm the oldest, so he put it all on me. Now, our youngest daughter, on the other hand, she's not gonna let a guy do anything because she has control issues.
Well, the pastor, just to kind of touch on that, I think that sometimes women have problems with letting a man be a man because it borderlines kind of being controlling, and it also, wanting to be, you know, stress the point or possibly say, I don't need you. So it's a couple of different messages to me that comes out. Um, but I can say that, personally, when I'm dealing with my, girlfriends, and I see certain situations or they ask my opinion about situations where I feel like they're not letting the man of the household be the man of the household, I will say to them, like, why you doing that? Sit back, relax. Let them do them. Let them be them.
I don't think it's uh I don't feel like I have a control issue or an issue with letting him be a man. I think I have a patience issue. As Jay-Z said, I got no patience and I hate waiting.
Hmm.
So that's where I'm working on that. That's one of my I don't want to say it's a goal for I don't want it to be like resolution-y, but that's one of the things I'm working on is being patient. I was in the store today and I possibly cussed out every person that came near me because and it was all a patience thing. I was like, it was too many people taking up space in the aisles. And I was like, I just don't have the time to wait for y'all. But and I think that is my problem at home is that I'm like, if it can be done quicker, that's what we need to do. Operate in swiftness, have some sort of urgency. And I think that's where I'm like, I know a way to do it quicker. So, but I'm
So
working on that.
so is that way to do it quicker is to just do it yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that perspective because I can say that, in certain situations I have gotten antsy and I'm like, you know what, I can get this done quicker. Um, But it also, came because one of my good friends told me that in a situation in your relationship, especially in your marriage, that you have to learn to have a little bit more patience. And
Mhm.
they challenged me to be more patient. So that urgency, um, I kind of learned how to deal with it. I learned how to, be more patient and give that man more time to fix or work on that problem.
I am trying to understand the long suffering.
But
It's the reason it's called that.
certain situations, yeah, I can say that I'm not good at waiting, but I try to have patience and I try to sit back and relax and let things happen. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to sit on my hands.
Now, getting back to what originally started it, I do want to ask, especially the guys. I know y'all do it, but just thinking of men in general. If you meet a guy and you pull into the gas station because you're driving for whatever reason. That's another thing. Everybody like, I'm driving, so why would she be pumping the gas? I know I done driven with a dude in the passenger side seat. I can't think back to if Pastor was ever with us, but I know I've had you and Six and Kathy in my car and I'm the driver. These situations have come across where a female has been known to drive a man around, but everybody on my page was like, I'm always the driver. Marlon said he the driver. I'm like, nigga, I done drove in this relationship. But anyway, if you find yourself with one who does not get out to pump the gas, is he emasculated or demasculated? I don't know. Is he bothered when I say, can you pump the gas?
Is he bothered?
Yes.
I
Like,
mean,
is there a case where men are bothered? Because that's a form of correction.
you shouldn't be bothered, but like I said,
But I guess I'm asking, do you feel like men take correction well? Because that's a form of correction.
so
Well, this is
I
gonna be
would,
hard
I would
to answer.
say, right?
Ray said they shouldn't have to be asked to pump the gas though. But go ahead, carry
What I would say is nothing should bother you. I think what happens is maybe the attitude. It might be an attitude or the way the woman might say it. Because for one, when the guy's on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, but anyways, the
on.
guy's on the passenger side of the ride, and the woman pulls up to the tank. The mind frame of the woman already is, well, most women is, this guy gonna jump out and pump the gas. The woman might not even say you pay for the gas, but he might jump out and say, I mean, she in her mind frame, most women are gonna say, oh, he gonna jump out and pay for the. I mean, he gonna pump the gas. So now, if he didn't, and he just laid back. Now he laid back on his phone. He just chilling, and her door got to open. It's the attitude already. So now the attitude like, so, and you already know how it's gonna go. Damn, nigga, you ain't gonna pump the gas. So what bothers him now is probably what they're gonna irritate each other is that attitude. So now he's upset, and she's already upset. So he shouldn't be bothered, but it's the way how you say it. Even though most women feel as though that man should jump out and pump that gas.
I mean, I'm probably not going to use the nigger part of it, but I probably would say, because like I said, I've had this situation. Now, this is probably about 20 or plus years ago that this happened. But I think the response was, and I'm going to ask the female, I feel like if I ask the guy, it's going to agitate him again. But I'm going to ask the female what happened in this scenario. But I think she might have been along the lines of like, you're not gonna pump the gas? And that's how I got his comment of that's not my girlfriend. So if you I mean, I think the question is probably is gonna come with a little attitude. Not saying it should, but like I guess most drivers are 16 or over. So at 16 or over, you thinking like, really, you're not going to do this? So you do have that little attitude with it. And that's when it probably leads to, well, you can walk also.
Mm-hmm.
That was always me when I was younger. If I'm in the driver's seat and I try to respect drivers, I think Sheree's on here now, and she will say, because she probably got victim of it, you ain't gonna fuss at me as a driver, and you ain't gonna give me attitude. Because the first thing I'm gonna say is, you don't have to be in this car with me.
I feel like that you can walk will sound okay when a woman says it to a dude, but
I have said it to women and men.
But what I'm saying to you is, if a woman says it to a dude in a car, it'd be one thing. If a dude says that to a woman, it'd be a whole issue.
Bill Bellamy did it on Love Jones. Walk. And sent her walking her little happy ass down the street.
It just go back to you don't give out.
Dudes, because if a dude gets told to walk and he in the car with a woman that's driving, that's really gonna set him off.
Yeah, he gonna say he not getting out, and he gonna cause a whole big scene.
I could call your mama a bee and sleep with your father, and you'd be less angry than me putting you out of this car. So
Marlon's a cool dude or whatever. I met him or whatever like that. So this is completely hypothetical. But if Marlon say you can walk, how you responding?
As a married couple,
the fact that you paused right there, I already know.
Because I really want you. Oh, I got my legs cramped up. Sorry. As a married woman to this man, we have 2 vehicles. Mm-hmm. You can't put me out of neither one of them. Because if it's that car ain't even in my name, but they both my cars. I wish a nigga would. That's one mess around and find out moment. Mother said, I've said it before. However, I started off the guy without a car. I'm pretty sure he has tried to put me out of either one of those vehicles. But like I said, you look real good waiting for me.
Hey, Marlon, listen up good, bro. Bro, we got more in common than you think, yo. Because me and Shayna first started dating, I ain't have a car either, so that wouldn't have worked. So I'm in the same boat as you, bro. That wouldn't have worked.
Marlon said, and she's correct. I pay for a car, but they her cars. She definitely shut up. I don't have heated seats. So yes, I do. In the winter, that's the car I want to drive because it has heated seats. Yeah. And in the summer, it's the car I want to drive because it's a little quicker and I can move in and out of places. But I want to own a truck. Or a crossover, as he calls it. But yeah, I put me out of what? I wish. Hutch, how many vehicles you own?
10.
10. Hutch got 10 cars. That ain't even my man. He looked real good putting me out of one of them. He gonna drag me kicking and screaming because I ain't getting out of nobody's car. But I will put you out of your own car.
Hutch.
Whoa.
What you saying if your lady say you can get out?
I've been put out of a car before. Not over no gas issue. But guess what? Uber and Lyft is fine for me. I ain't gotta have no rap.
Do you get Danny put you out the car? Do you get out?
I'm not. I mean, like I said, I'll get out of the car because I ain't about to be sitting there talking about no. We ain't about to argue. I ain't arguing with nobody. I'll get out.
I put it this way: if me and Shane is arguing or whatever, and of course we in the same car, I'd rather get out and walk than to have her walk.
I think if I put Marlon out the car while we driving, if I see that nigga reach for the door, my next question will be, "Oh, you think you're gonna get out this car and leave us?
Yeah.
Really? That's what we doing today? Okay, me. You see how your father treating us? I wish you would get off this car. Right after I put you out. That's what I wish you would touch that handle.
Yeah, no.
No.
All right, Marlon responded.
Not
Not to what you said, but
we take care of that at home.
Mullen said, I've definitely gotten out the car before and didn't get back in. I guess this wasn't me. You're not about to tell me that my company is not one. Oh, Jesus. And then try to get me back into the same situation.
Right.
I'll walk the lift and meet my next destination.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Mimi heard the same conversation. She probably cussing you out for having me get out. Mimi will definitely. Mimi has taken Marlon's side from the day she met him. Quick story. One time I tried to break up with Marlon, and I was sitting in the car on the phone. I'm like, well, this can be over. I'm fine with it. And I hung up. He agreed to my breakup and everything. And we hang up the phone, and Mimi, I don't know how old she was, but she just started screaming at me. And I was like, you took his side? I called him back. I was like, oh, so you really gonna break up with me? He was like, that's what you said. I was like, but you want to let this go like that? Our breakup lasted for 5 minutes, and it's the only one we've ever had. The only one. He said she was 7. I'm about to take his ability to type away. But so another question: has everybody seen The Best Man final chapters yet?
I have.
I have.
Not all of them.
Not all of it, but enough.
Yeah.
I think I covered the one topic before. I don't know because everybody hadn't watched it. So I stole this from somewhere else. So I'm going to admit it. But the first question is, what character do you see yourself as?
I ain't going to answer. For the episodes I've seen, I ain't going to answer it.
Sheree, you still ain't seen it. When you get off the head, you go watch. No, go ahead and answer, Hutch.
No, I'm good.
Tell us. What you think, you Lance? Out there just slinging wood everywhere?
Nah, that ain't me. I'm Harper.
He Quentin. Quentin.
Danny on here.
I ain't no Quentin. I'm Harper.
You know that's the villain of the story, right?
Yeah, I'm always the bad guy in every event.
Kathy, who do you think you are? See you when I get off.
I think that, before she passed away, I gotta do the final chapter, so I can't be Mia then.
I mean, you can be Mia, but I'm not picking a dead person.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of, I wouldn't wanted the role to pass away, but I would have wanted the role to be the peacemaker to keep, the friendships together, keep family together, keep the traditions going, and to, try to, make connections. And I think that if she was still living and they would have rolled her in the final chapter, she still would have had that role.
I mean, technically, she was in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pastor, did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen all of it.
All right, who you think you closely?
So, I don't want to say this.
Wait.
I probably identify more with Merch.
I thought he was about to say Lance. I was about to be like,
so this is the thing. With Lance, the way he's real into the Bible and stuff like that, that's me. But like the womanizing or whatever, that ain't me or whatever like that. So I see part of Lance being me because of the Bible side, and then I see Merch because Merch is like that not aggressive.
hello?
There you go.
He is sitting next to the router today.
My Lord.
Well, Is he back? Okay. Are you there? No? Still frozen? Maybe. Is it me moving my computer or is he moving my table? All right, well while he figures that out, I think what was her name Candace?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm somewhat like Merch because he got that he's like passive aggressive kind of thing going on.
Ah. Oh,
who was 6?
interesting. I don't know. He didn't. He's nobody because he didn't show up today.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Let's see. I maybe. What you think?
He ain't Quentin. He ain't Merch. So he gotta be what you call Harper too.
What about Terrence Howard character?
That's
He
Quentin.
ain't Quentin.
Oh, you said not Quentin.
He ain't got
Um,
no. He ain't flying after 2 women. Oh, he wasn't engaged. He ain't doing all that. He ain't. He
I
ain't
mean,
his
you gotta look
lifestyle.
past that. I just mean character.
He ain't changing his lifestyle. So the Quentin before this movie, maybe, sarcastic.
Yeah, because I'm thinking throughout there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Quentin
Some
before.
people did have like more of an arc throughout this final chapters, but
Probably Quentin
I would,
before this final
I
chapter.
wouldn't give him Harper at all. No, I'm sorry, not at all. I wouldn't give him Lance at all. I I
Why
I
wouldn't
could
you
see
give him
some merch
Lance?
there.
Because he has a family side of him. Like,
I could see some merch there with him. Um, but I think he likes to be the funny, the comic relief part. So that's why I thought about Terrence Howard. And I also thought about Terrence Howard. One of my favorite parts, two of my favorite parts from their whole thing is I think in the first one, they might be sitting at the table playing poker or something. And he's like, grow it, Murchie. That I still get a kick out of that. But also on this one, when at probably the last episode where they were all fussing at Harper, and by the end it's just Quentin and his wife standing there and she's fussing at Harper, and Harper turns on her and he was like, well, how good are you for keeping your daughter away? And Quentin is like, yup. And he said something to her. Harper said something, and she looked at Quentin, and he was like, keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth, nigga. That was the funniest thing the whole series. But that gave me a little 6, because he better get in line or he gonna get in trouble.
You better get in line.
But I would say for me, I picked I was asking, is her name Candace in this one?
Yeah.
Okay, because her name is also Candace in Think Like a Man, Think Like a Lady, whatever that movie is called. Her name is Candace in that too. But I think was closely to me. Like I spent most of Mimi's life researching all the things on her that would help her. I get headstrong on trying to figure out something and researching, and she's trying to maintain like her family and what she's trying to research. I know nobody likes, I don't think any of us, or I don't know, I'll get your opinion. When Robin decided she was moving to Africa, I want to be a person that could make that decision, but I also know I would never do that. Like when they were at the end and the little girl was crying because she didn't want to leave, I was like, oh, I had to be a punk and just give my baby what she want. But I saw her need to leave, and I saw and understood how putting herself first was not going to kill that child. And that they're also a couple that can afford to do something like travel back and forth to Africa. The rest of us can't do that. But I was like, I can't even compare myself to Robin in that, because I would never do it. I commended her for doing it, but that's not a decision I would make as a parent. Do y'all think she was wrong?
I don't know what you're
No.
talking about.
I was about to say Hutch wouldn't know because he ain't finished.
No, I don't think she was wrong. You know, like part of, you know, if you take the child out the situation, right, and you put the child in the situation, but you take her out at the same time, I think the lesson that she was trying to teach her daughter was to have be happy, and don't sacrifice your happiness. So in her, you know, and not sacrificing her happiness, she had to stand up for her belief in what she believed in, and if it meant sacrificing her marriage, then so be it. But I think that, you know, I don't, for some reason, I don't think this is the final chapter. That episode is the last episode. I could be all the way wrong about this, but, you know, I think that Harper has to learn some humble pie. He has to learn, because the whole thing that in that whole series, what everybody was telling him was the same message. Like, you selfish, bro, you selfish. Everything you do is about you. And when you start learning to do things that's not about you, you'll be happy. And that was the big lesson that he had to learn. He had to lose something that really meant something to him. And even his begging wasn't even really sincere. That's what I got out of it.
Pastor, what do you think?
What was the question?
Do you think she was wrong for taking the child?
I ain't gonna say I think she was wrong for taking the child, because she did put her a lot on the back burner for him. I think that where she was wrong at was when she was flirting with that guy over the food.
Okay, so I agree. Somebody brought that up because the way the person brought it up on Facebook, they was like, people that we it was like, it's another thing about people, how we bring people around our kids. And I do think they were flirting, yes, but I also got from what I saw that while I agree, I think there was some flirting there. This was also somebody that Harper apparently met as well. So I think I didn't think it was flirting as much as him and Harper were making out. They was about to have sex if Wichita may have a heart attack.
Yeah,
Oh,
true
you talking
that.
about him and Nia Long?
Him and Jordan, yeah.
Yeah. I think they did, and they just wrote it out. They didn't show it.
Wait. Time out.
They specifically show when they stopped.
Listen, this tends to happen. This tends to happen even in the Shop podcast group when we talk about women. It's quickly a deflection or whatever like that.
I wasn't trying to deflect, but I'm just saying we talk about flirting versus actually cheating. I think what he did was cheating. I think that she saw somebody that she liked, that she did have an attraction to, but I didn't see her do anything with that person.
Both actions.
I think that I'm not going to lie and say I haven't met somebody that since I've been married and be like, I don't think anybody's attractive. I'm not going to lie and say that. Like, I think that, but I think there is a difference in finding someone attractive and acting on that attraction. And that's what they ain't writing there. Now,
wait, that guy was at their house though. While Harper wasn't there.
That's true. But I say this from a very humble place because I be having heat issues in my house. If I'm constantly cold and I'm telling you I'm cold, again, his friend had to text him and say, you need to come home. Something is wrong with your wife. So was her and that baby supposed to continue to freeze in that house? And she said to that man, no, don't bring these heaters in here.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with the points that you're making, but you're not going to downplay that she was flirting with this dude.
You're saying the man was in the house. I'm not negating that. Should she have said, no, don't bring those heaters in here?
Nah, she needed the heaters.
And I'm
Could
not.
he have left them at the door and not came in the house?
He could have, but what the reason why I said you can tell that Harper also knows this person, I would think that, and Marlon's watching, he can correct me if I'm wrong. If one of y'all drops something off in the house, I don't think I have to tell y'all can't come past my porch.
I'm coming past your porch.
See? So am I wrong for letting Hutch in my house?
No.
Pastor, you might not come in. You might be like, you know what? Husband ain't there. My wife ain't here. I ain't coming in.
Marlon, I'm coming past your porch.
Hutch gonna be like, where my goddaughter at? I'm coming in here. And I'm gonna be like, you ain't got to come in. I can put it in the van for you.
This is not a good example. Me and Hutch ain't the same. It ain't the same. That's a bad example. Me and Hutch ain't looking like the other guy.
I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm just saying I'm coming past the porch.
But my point of using y'all specifically is because you are people who have met my husband. In this case, whether she finds this man attractive or not, there is an indication that Harper has met this man as well. Now, I don't know if she flirt when he's there, or because I don't even want to say she kept getting flustered. Her color changed. Like, I don't know if everything was necessarily flirting, but you could tell she, is very much so attracted to this man. I don't think it is fair to compare that to him and Jordan making out, and he wrote about it and left it for her to read. Which you can't throw that in my face. That's comparing apples to baboons. Now, what I think they probably should have wrote it and made it a little bit more clear so we can know something happened really between her and this guy and not assume something happened. Because what Marlon say? I think he knew him, but I'm not too sure right. I don't know if they met. I could just tell that he knew who the guy was.
Okay.
But anyway, it's 8:01.
And your show was on.
Yeah, so Pastor.
I'll be brief. I won't be before you long. 2 Chronicles 1, chapter 1, verses 1 to 13 talks about how Solomon requests wisdom. So Solomon said to God, you have shown great mercy to David, my father, and have made me king in his place. Now, O Lord God, let your promise to David, my father, be established. For you have made me king over a people like the dust over the earth in multitude. Now, give me wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this great people of yours? Then God said to Solomon, because this was in your heart, and you have not asked riches or wealth or honor or life of your enemies, nor have you asked for long life, but you have asked for wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may judge my people over whom I made you king. Wisdom and knowledge are granted to you, and I will give you the riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had who are before you, nor shall any after you have the like. The importance of wisdom. Wisdom is of great importance in our lives, as it helps us to deal with things in the best possible way to achieve the best results that a person seeks. So, taking into account all the possibilities that may arise to change the order of priorities and thus change the goal-seeking behavior. When you make wise decisions, you keep your immediate needs in mind, along with holding long-term perspectives. This is the key to making choices that bring you joy. In addition, wisdom allows you to make better contributions to your community by balancing your needs and boundaries with those of others. Another point about wisdom is it can come from listening to others that have experienced a lot, or it can come from us actually learning from our own experiences. The definition of insanity is doing things the same way and then expecting different results. Wisdom, the main theme of Proverbs, has 2 definitions. First, it is not mere head knowledge, but a divinely enlightening evil in Proverbs indicates that a moral and spiritual quality is intended. So I just stopped by to give you the importance of wisdom. Solomon had a prayer, and he didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for wealth. What did he ask for? Wisdom.
Amen.
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 Hutch, you got anything to say before we go?
Well, it's the same old thing. Just watch out for your neighbors. Watch those who, may be going through things. But also, Mother's Day brunch will be May the 14th, 2 through 6. Hit me for those tickets. Second annual Kitty Disco, April the 8th, 1 to 5. Hit me for those informations. And I just want to say real quick, also take one day at a time. And remember, we have more yesterdays than we have tomorrows. That's all I have.
Amen.
Amen.
Kathy, anything?
Everyone just be safe and just, live your life to the fullest.
Oh, last week, matter of fact, I ain't gonna get into it, but you was on one last week. She back to be an old cat.
I am not. I am still the same Miss Sharp lady.
Six brings out a different side in her.
Last week she was on one. She was lit for the new year. I think she knew.
And I'm still lit.
He must have drained her. All right, y'all. Good night.
See y'all
Good
next
night.
week. Bye.
Bye.
Blessings.
Bye.